to Cool Bears. Welcome back to another video. Well, guys, there is a fire in the mountain. Yes. And the moment of the truth is here. You know, when you go to the forest and you light up a fire in the forest, all the small animals, they'll have to run out from that bush and come out of the forest. And this is the about time for us to get to see the truth of politicians. The truth is being revealed. So, guys, there is a fire in the mountain. As we saw, President Cyril Ramaphosa and Chief Justice Zondo, they are in trouble. Yes, they are in trouble because we are going to show you that in these videos if you stay until the end. So once again, welcome to Cool Bears. Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time to be here, feel welcome and feel free to comment in the comment section. Tell us what you think, what is in your mind, what is your thoughts about what you are seeing around the country right now. But if you always watch us, thank you so much for being here. And do as always, I can see all of you are coming too. Magish is in already. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the like and the comments. But without delay, because tonight I'm not going to take for so long because I had a lot that I'm working on. And right now, I just want to come to talk to you because there is a fire in the mountain, guys, and we're going to see that in these videos. But before we get to start, as we always do, let's try to read for you the breaking news of the day very quick before we go to our menu point of the day that we'll be discussing. So, news number one: ANC defend court interdict seeking to half Gauteng conference. You all know that the ANC in Gauteng, they are holding up the vote because they need to fix some problems that they're having between themselves. So we'll come back tomorrow and talk more about it. ESCOM warn of stage 5 load shedding or higher due to strike actions. We all know that the ESCOM, they're busy striking right now. So that is the reason why you see the electricity is going, I mean, like many times per day. And this matter is gonna really affect us in the days to come. Zuma on Zondo final report. It is unlawful and filled of gossip. That is what we're going to talk about tonight as well. Besides that, don't forget, I'm busy working on the videos which I'll try to explain and give my point of view about what President Jacob Zuma had said in his media briefing this evening about the Justice Zondo report, which has been submitted to the President Ramaphosa so far. USA Supreme Court hand constitutional right to abortion. SAFA President Danny Jordan crash no see aspirant in a landslide reaction wins. Guys, I'm gonna talk about this in a very soon because I need also to give my point of view on that, to see how Jordan had passed these elections. There's some dramas that we need to discuss about it. Intelligence Committee contributed to state capture by failing to hold SSA. That is in the parliament, obviously. And on the sport news, we have Pumaland First Kerry Cup title on historic day as Greekers Kimberly left heartbroken. And another sports news that we have here: former Kaizer Chiefs goalkeeper could get shocked move to Pirates. I mean, it is a season, obviously, whereby players, they have to get to change from the different teams. We saw how Sadio Mane, the guy from Liverpool, he had to go now to Bayern Munich. So players that are changing, you know, from one side to another side. Emmanuel, how are you, my brother? Good to see you again here. So if you are here and you have not liked the videos, please do like the videos. Tell us also in the comment your presence. We can also greet you from far as we get to start, guys. Well, guys, first of all, I would like us to talk about the little boy that we announced to you a couple of days ago, who got disappeared in a very uh, strange way. You know, this boy, he was playing with his friend and he had to fall in the drain, and until today, it is about 2 weeks that this boy, they have not find him. And the Johannesburg mayor tried to deploy the service so that they will go and try to track in all pipe so that they will find this boy. But until now, guys, as we're speaking, this boy, they have not find him. Now, my question is, did this boy really fall inside this pipe drain, or did this boy actually just disappear like that? Because if this service were doing the job, I believe they'll have at least tried to find this boy. But since they have not found him until now, that is my worry. It's, are them playing there? I don't know. But let's see, it's very pity because this boy has been it's been now about 2 weeks, and these 2 weeks, if they have to find him, they are going to find bones. That's the truth we should tell each other. I know we are during the winter. Obviously, a body of a human being can't be decomposed that quick because it is too cold outside today, especially in the water drain. But from the way I'm seeing about this, I think 2 weeks is long enough for someone's body to be decomposed. So at least they should find even the bones so that the family, they can have a closure and try to bury this the remains of his part of body, because even if they have to find the bones of this boy, even the rib, one rib, the family can still bury it. Because I saw it. Who's this guy? Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba from DRC, who was killed by colonials back then, Belgium colonial. They had killed him. They put him in acid, and then they make him disappear like that. But apparently, people who went in that service, that the one of them had put up the tooth. He took the tooth of Patrice Lumumba. He hid it somewhere. After so many years, the Congolese had took the freedom. This man was back in Belgium when he was about to die. Then he told his children that, guys, I have a secret to tell you. I have one of the tooth of Patrice Lumumba. I keep it because no one knows about it. According to the history, this man disappeared just the way they had made Muammar Gaddafi disappeared. Because until now, there's no a grave, there's no any place whereby you get to know that Gaddafi was buried here or not. So this man had also hidden that thing. But after 60 years, the two government, they had, after they had reconciled, they had now to go and collect this tooth. And you should have seen what coffin they put that tooth in, how much money they have to pay to the other government and to the family as a damage, you know. So what I'm trying to say is just that they should try by all means and find this boy so that he can be buried. Whether they don't find the fresh, but they can find the bones, at least this boy will be buried. Guys, another thing I want us to talk about is the one of SAFA presidential election. And at this time, we saw someone called by the name of Danny Jordan. He wanted to be re-elected for the third time because he's already served his 2 mandates. And this time, he wanted to be elected for the third time. This time, he had to go and find Ria in front of him and other candidates who had put the names for this competition. I mean, for this election. And why I mentioned Ria, because Ria got the support from the EFF, especially from Julius Malema himself. Apparently, she's part of the the EFF members. So they supported her. And among people who were supporting her, we saw Sheikh Mashaba, who's the former Bafana Bafana coach, was also among people who were supporting Ria. So obviously there is a lot which I believe you do have something bad to say about the leadership of uh, Jordan so far, because he had failed couple of things where the Bafana is supposed to be and where we are at the moment. I mean, it does not match, because if you look in his second mandate, he had written a book or a report saying that in 2022 Bafana is supposed to be number 1 to number 3 in Africa and at least number 20 in the world. But unfortunately, as we're speaking right now, Bafana in Africa, when we put all the African countries together, the national team of Bafana, we are not in among number 3, we are not among number 5 or 10. Instead, we are above number 20 something. That it is a point showing that we already failed. In the world is even worse. So obviously, we need some kind of like a new leadership ahead of this SAFA committee team. But unfortunately, today, once again, as I always tell you, show me who you frequent, then I will tell you what kind of person you are. Because whenever I keep on telling you how level the corruption is taking place in this country, some people, they think that we are playing. Once again, we saw how corruption had took place in SAFA today. Yes, I can assume that, because any person who have a normal head, there's no way that they'll go and sit down and revote again Danny Jordan. But for the fact that they got to vote him again with more than 180 something votes, that is a sign of showing that these people, they don't want us to go forward. Instead, they are trying to protect their own interest. They are trying to protect their own stomach. And it is for that reason they are willing to do anything. We saw it even in the parliament. Whenever they're trying to seek for some answers or question some questions, some people, they have to stand and start protecting other people. It's not that because they want that person to be there, but it's because they know that if this person go, I'll lose my job. And they try to privilege their own interest instead of the one of the nation. That's what happened today. So, in brief, Jordan, he had been reacted again for the third time. But later on, we get the interview from Sheikh Mashaba, one of the former coach of Bafana. According to him, he said that they're not going to sit and wait. Because remember, Sheikh Mashaba, you worked with Danny Jordan. They worked together under Danny Jordan's leadership. But to see him today turning up the site just like that, which means some way, somehow, something's not sitting okay and everything's not going fine. So it's very disappointing to see what is happening in SAFA. But I'm not surprised at the same time, because I know that this country, guys, the whole system is corrupt. Whether you agree with me or not, this is my point of view, and you can't forbid me from not telling the truth. The whole system, starting from the head office, going until the tailor, it is all corrupt. And as long we don't do something about this, you must know that things will keep on getting worse. Worse and worse. So it is very pity to see all these things happening. Another point that I want also to talk with you is the one of the Gauteng ANC conference. There, it is another drama. I'm not going to go deep on this one because I'm still waiting. As them also, they still await. But guys, I can sense, I smell some fishy in this conference. The ANC that me and you, we know. Guys, when we went, well, I'm not going to involve myself in it because I was still just a baby. When we had our first election, I was just about 5 to 6 years. But whenever I look this picture here, my apology about that. I mean, this picture is a historic picture. I don't have it here. All right, guys, I feel you know this picture. The one, they took it from the helicopter, showing the queue of people like a snake. All of them on the queue. And when they asked them, where are you guys going? They said that we're going to vote. Do you know that picture, isn't it? I believe all of us were well familiar of that picture. You know, that picture reminds us, like whenever you have to see this picture, you must just remember that when these people, they were going to queue to vote for the ANC back in days, is because they had the hope, all thanks to Tata Madiba, who had tried to do his part. And they had that hope that, okay, it is about time we take this matter in our hands. It's about time we take our economy in our hands. It's about time we do things accordingly to the way we're supposed to be doing, without having a leadership of someone trying to come and impose us what to do. But when I see what is happening today, without taking sides, without judging anyone, when I see what is happening today inside the ANC, I ask myself, like, what happened? Do they really forgot about this picture? Because it is now a battle between themselves. The party is no more organized. That is the truth, guys. Look what is happening. This one is fighting with that one. This one, oh, I want to be the president. When you guys do this, I don't want. I mean, they're going, how can you go to the election or to the conference being divided? How can you even think to go to the conference being divided? Once you get there, you are now like, okay, now we need first to solve these problems. We need to do this. We need to do this before we go to for the vote. Drama after drama. And that is the reason why you see, like right now, this conference is for the Gauteng province. But if you listen to themselves when they're talking about it, you hear that some people who come from different sides, whether from Durban or Limpopo or wherever they came, they want to vote, though they're supposed not to vote. So they need now to identify who have to vote and who's supposed not to vote. All mess up. And this is the ruling party. You can tell that the organization is not going that well because there is some fight among themselves. They don't get along. And at the same time, that someone will have to pay for all this. And that person is you. Yes. Because if there's no peace reigning among these members or political party members, it's going to affect me and you at the end of the day. It's going to affect the economy of this country. It's going to affect all our activities. And that is something that we don't need, and we're not going to sit here and just looking at those people taking advantage of us. Yes. So there are all these kind of complications. At the same times, the election is coming. So I don't know what will happen. And all at the end of the time, I mean, at the end of the day, you'll see that another person who's being exposed here is the president himself, President Ramaphosa. Because when there's some small issue in the party, it is kind of like they're trying to expose you. Because when the population will start gossiping or talking about all this wrongdoing that is going inside the party, obviously it's going to reduce people's trust for them to come and react to you. That is something that as a ruling party they should try to avoid from the side if they still want to be again here after 2024. Well, guys, there's a fire in the mountain. Yes, it's getting heat there. The moment of truth is finally here. I feel so excited because when I say the moment of truth is finally here, it's because it is about time we get to see how politicians, they can get to attack each other more openly, without keeping secret, without hiding behind closed doors. How politicians, they can have courage to come and tell us what they were doing whenever they were telling us that I'm in the office, I'm working for the nations, yet they're busy organizing their own meetings inside hotels where they were busy. Who knows? Perhaps maybe they were sharing some ladies there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Because that's the thing that you find like they're supposed to be in the office, making sure that the nation they are well served, the nation they have the food, they have place to sleep, they are living at peace, and everything's look fine. Instead, that is not the case. All we see, it is drama after drama. All thanks because of politicians. So, guys, the truth moment is for the fact that politicians now, they can come in front of cameras, organizing conference or press media, get to tell us like, no, on this day, I did that, he did that. My part is this, and his part is this. That is the moment of truth, and that's what I believe we've been all waiting for. You saw the state capture report has been handed to the President Cyril Ramaphosa by the Chief Justice Zondo. But before that, I was here. I told you guys that this report is supposed to be handed long time ago, because the Chief Justice Zondo was assigned since 2018. So that is nearly 4 years. And this report had to delay in the last minute when we less expected. And when it comes out, we were also expecting that some names, starting with the President Cyril Ramaphosa himself, to be in, so that they can get to explain us exactly about the money that was stolen in his farm. And besides that, the President Cyril Ramaphosa back in day, he had also role to play, including himself, Chief Justice Zondo. He have a role to play in this stage. So somehow, some way, the name's supposed to be inside. Instead, that did not happen. They closed the eye. I close the eye when it comes to you. You close your eye also when it comes to me. Now, we sleep and wake up just to find out that, no, these people, they're like this. They're good friends. So they're kind of like trying to protect each other. President Cyril Ramaphosa protecting Zondo, Zondo protecting the president. Last time I was here again in this channel, I asked you guys a question. Who should we trust about this report? I ask you this question because I sit and look around. I'm like, who can investigate these people? Who can go and check to know that, okay, the president did right here, did wrong here. The president need to give us answer on 1, 2, 3 things. I ask this question, and I mentioned the names. I mentioned the public companies. I mentioned the names of even CEOs, people who are supposed to do the job. All of them in majority, they've been nominated by the president himself. And very soon, I'm going again to demonstrate that when President Jacob Zuma had to give that media briefing today. So imagine someone that you nominate, someone that you give the job. What can them do against you? Because when you take Justice Chief Zondo, Chief Justice Zondo, it's been nominated by Ramaphosa, starting with Zuma, obviously. And if he's still there, it's because Ramaphosa want him to be there. You take SARS CEO, been nominated by the president himself. Take the public prosecutor, himself. That's when she got suspended. She got suspended all just because she said, me and my team, we are going to investigate about the Palapala farm manual robbery. Now, when a person tried to disobey or the person trying to do something against the president, we saw the result. We saw what happened. So, for that reason, obviously you can tell that there's no such things that you can rely on such people, because they are not there to do the what pleases the nation. Instead, they are there to do what pleases them, and they are there to protect each other. You don't know who you can trust. You don't know who you can feel like, okay, this person, they will do the job properly, because they are not afraid to attack the president. They are not afraid to tell the truth. Guys, the moment of truth is finally here. And this time, the person who have decided to bring the truth out, beside all other people, because earlier today, I was in the tweet of Chief Justice Mukwege. I could hear what he was trying to say. I tried like to analyze about his message in those tweets, and I could not really get that closure. But all thanks to the Jacob Zuma respond to the Chief Justice Mukwege, I end up now understanding, okay, so this is how these people, they can be sometime. This is how these people can see the country. This is how these people can get to fool the country. All because we are here sitting, have to listen to them, have to pay attention to what they have to say. This evening, the President Jacob Zuma, of course, the former President Jacob Zuma, came on the media to give his side of the point of view about this report. And in his report, in his point of view, which is supposed to be held by himself, but it did not show up. Most of people so far, they like to buy about what has been said in the media, that no, the president is not here for 1, 2, 3 reasons. But here, we speak the truth. Here, we don't take side. We don't defend anyone. We speak the way the matter is supposed to be told. So the truth here is that what president is... Sorry about that, my network cracked a bit there. So I was saying that this bomb, it can be exposed in a very good way if you drop it nice, or it can be exposed in a very bad way to the point of hurting you if you decide to drop it bad. So, clever enough he is, the former President Jacob Zuma refused to show up himself. Instead, he had to listen to his illegal counselors, who had to told him that stay behind, send someone to read this media briefing for you. That is how he sent a couple of people from his foundation, and among these people, we saw his daughter. She was also there. And this time when they get there, obviously the message was very clear, because President Jacob Zuma at the moment, he still have serious problem inside the court. So, you know, when you are at the court, sometimes you don't need to be talking too much, because the more you talk, you might end up making mistakes, which they will take it and use it against you. That is the reason why, for those who always watch my videos, I always condemn Kelly Kumalo. I always said that if I was a legal advice, I was going to tell her not to act about anything. Instead, she should be someone like a Longo Twala, because Longo Twala, his name is also being mentioned in Sezo Meomeda case several times, but so far, I have not seen how often Longo Twala have to react, whether they mention his name or not. I have not seen Longo Twala taking pictures everywhere, posting or walking around with bodyguards. That is how a clever person deal with his life. Try to live your life in a very private way until you try to find yourself inside the court so that you give your side of what had happened. But what we see with people like Kelly Kumalo living a life like nothing never happened, that are the things that they might take it and use it against her when the time comes. So President Jacob Zuma, clever enough he is, he understood that I can't go in media and say about all this. If I say this, they might use it against me. So what can I do? Let me send some people. And he find his excuses. He sent people on media. Now that they arrive in the media, guys, there are things that are being revealed. Things, some of them, me and you, we know. But whenever we keep on talking about it, no one pay attention to us. No one want to listen to us. No one feel like maybe perhaps we are against this person and we don't like this person. Guys, please do like the videos. I'll really do appreciate. Just hit that thumbs up. I'll really do appreciate. So, you know, among all these things, they started first by telling how this report is unlawful. It is unlawful because the procedure to bring this state capture report to the table, it is not proper. And they had to use some people as sacrifice. So kind of like trying to protect what you feel is benefiting you and sacrifice what you don't need, according to this report and according to the former President Jacob Zuma. So they said that in this report, it is all about gossiping, and the name that is being they've been gossiping about is the name of Jacob Zuma. And they go again to say that in this report, the Chief Justice Zondo, he had to use his influence to try by all means to implicate the names of President Jacob Zuma in the Gupta's affairs, by saying that President Zuma had given his power to the Gupta's family so that they will decide in his behalf. They said that Chief Justice Zondo, he's been walking around with the name of Jacob Zuma for so long and trying to prove that he was not doing nothing when he was in the office. Instead, it was Guptas who were telling him what to do. Jacob Zuma, according to the statement which was written today, they said that he's an innocent and he's been the victim of politicians who had forgotten about what he have done for this country. After all this time, they had to go and talk about how you've been present in Robben Island. They had to talk about what you've been through all the time of a struggle, and this is how they have to pay him because they are not trying to sacrifice him. In this statement released from the Zuma Foundation, it also says that Jacob Zuma is the only person who got humiliated by the Chief Justice Zondo. Now the question we will ask to know, like, how did he got humiliated by the Zondo report? Well, according to them, they said that the report they humiliate him because they did not follow the normal procedure. Him is a president. He's been elected and is the last president of the ANC who've been elected with more than 60%. So there I saw it was a stone throw to President Ramaphosa, because since he's been elected as a president of the ANC, whether it is in the ANC, besides perhaps maybe in the ANC, but in the South Africa general election, Ramaphosa never reached 60%. So in other words, he was trying to attack Ramaphosa, telling him that me at least, I'm the last president of the ANC. So Mandela was with 90%, Thabo Mbeki was in the 80s, 70s, but me at least, I managed to get at where I was with 60%. You instead, you are less, you are above. I mean, you are under me. So you don't need to come and compare yourself to me. That is the message he was trying like to send. So he said that I'm the president who got elected with the last ANC president who got elected with more than 60%. And for that reason, I have millions of South Africans out there who had voted for me. Though I did not finish my mandate, but these people, they trusted in me and they give me the vote. So I'm supposed to be treated in a very proper manner and not the way that I've been treated. Of course, I believe he was referring the time when they mentioned his name to go inside the court. From the court, they did not give him a chance to explain himself. Instead, they condemn him straight away. So in this report, Zuma said that is the only prison who they had condemned him and refused to give him the chance to appeal like anyone else. Is the only prison who they had condemned him without even listening to him. So those are the points that pushed the President Jacob Zuma to say that he's been humiliated by the Chief Justice Zondo. And they feel like Chief Justice Zondo, he had given his use his influence as a chief of justice to take advantage of Jacob Zuma. So now, my question now is to know, this man here, Zondo, he's been nominated by Jacob Zuma. You guys do still remember? He was nominated by the president himself. No one else put him there. And in that interview, I saw even one of the journalists ask this question. How come this person, you nominate him? You never come back to us and say that, okay, guys, I have nominated a wrong person. Why are you coming today and telling us about this? That was the question. And obviously the answer was that, you know, when sometimes we can trust people without knowing that what they will tend to be tomorrow. That is true. I totally agree with the President Zuma here, because I always say it is not written in anyone's face to get to know that this one is the right person or that one is the bad person. People, they can get to change the intention, especially with what we are seeing in this country of people who are trying to work for their own stomach. People who are trying to work on how they'll have to send the side chick in Europe or Dubai. Some of them, even when they go for the official visit in other country, official service in other countries, they go there with their own side chick. At the airport, they will leave alone with a diplomatic passport. But once they got in America somewhere there, they already send the side chick, or maybe she will follow them. Yes, I'm telling you guys the truth. Most of these ministers and all these politicians, when they want to cheat on their wives, when they want to do all these crazy things, they don't do it around the country, because they're here, they'll get caught very easy. Go and ask one of the councillors who are working in the cabinet. They're the one who sees how many ladies do these ministers change. But since they're there to protect the job, they're not going to say much. They'll keep quiet. So obviously they'll go. Once they reach there, they call the side chick, and the side chick will take the airplane, should go, and once they are there, they'll live their life. When the official visit or missions is finished, then they'll come separate ways, like nothing happened. So guys, Jacob Zuma had to complain about that. Jacob Zuma, in that report, he says that his name is being mentioned falsely, because he's the one who had all the power to sign and tell who does what and who did what. But seeing how the Chief Justice Zondo come in that report and mention again his name, so Jacob Zuma even went far to say that this report needed to be reviewed. When they asked the question to know, are them going to review all those books we saw on the table, or are them just going to review about Jacob Zuma himself? He says that no, there's a doubt about the service, because there are names who's supposed to be inside here, but these names are not being mentioned. Jacob Zuma spoke again about um, the friendship when Chief Justice Zondo was asked a question to know whether they know each other of Jacob Zuma for how long and how. His respond, he kind of like deny to have a friendship with Jacob Zuma. But today, the Zuma Foundation revealed, said that no, actually they know each other. They've been doing a lot of things. They even said that Chief Justice, he lied by not also giving the reference of place they used to meet, especially in Deben's hotel. So now my question is, how were they going to meet in the hotel when there is an office? So obviously, you'll tell that instead of people doing the job for the country, they were actually meeting somewhere in the hotels, doing some deals there, getting some illegal agreements that will not even gonna benefit the country. That's not even gonna help us to good as a nation. Now today the truth is coming out, but the Judge Zondo had denied. Says that no, it's been about maybe 20 years that he once saw the president. It was about this occasion and what. But the truth now come out that no, actually they were meeting, they were talking, they had a lot of things. Again, about his point of view when he said that is not that close to Ramaphosa as people think, and is not being manipulated by President Ramaphosa. Today, again, with the Jacob Zuma Foundation, they confirmed to say that no, they know each other. They know each other. They are very close to each other. And guys, you could feel how they were talking about all this. You feel like they don't value of each other. This is now a personal fight between Jacob Zuma, Cyril Ramaphosa, and the referee, who's supposed to be neutral, Chief Justice Zondo, but instead, according to the Zuma Foundation, they said that he had to decide to choose his side, and this side he preferred to go with President Ramaphosa. So the Zuma Foundation called again that the Chief Justice should be removed from that post and be sued because he had violated the Constitution. Now you ask yourself a question, how did he get to violate the Constitution? This is one of the points that I had agreed myself in this media briefing. Well, according to the court constitutions, a judge has not the right or is supposed not to comment about any political activities. For an example, if you are a judge and then it happened that they call you maybe in the studio or maybe you find yourself in front of a camera and they had to ask you a specific question about the matters that we're facing as a nation, you don't need to comment about it. Do you know why? Because you are a judge. You're supposed to be natural. I'm going to give you a very other small example just in box before we go back to what I was saying. See, for an example, in Senzo Miwameda case, why is then Marcela Tefo decided to leave Judge Maumela for him to go back at Pretoria High Court to submit his request about the second docket and ask for the public prosecutor to come and testify about how did she sign these two dockets if she know that they will have to come and cancel one. Do you know why we get to that point? Obviously because the Judge Maumela have started showing some impressions of not being natural. And you guys, you saw it, of how he had to get to exchange words with Marcela Tefo. Whenever other advocate, like a state advocate, George Baloy speak, or maybe the defending of accused number 5, when she speaks, Zandile Mshulolo, when she speak, the judge leave them. You don't get interrupt. You don't cut them. You don't say anything. You keep quiet. But when Malisela Tefo try to start talking, the judge have to come up with excuses. So for that reason, clever enough as he is, he understood that I can't put my trust in this judge. So therefore, I need to go somewhere else and try to start from the bottom so that I'll get, if this judge, if I have to continue with this judge, he have to give me some reasons why I should trust in his judgment. And that is the same thing Jacob Zuma feel about the Chief Justice Zondo. Because in this media briefing, he says that he don't want to find himself in front of that kind of a person who already take his side. The judge is no longer neutral. He had made his choice. And obviously his choice he was referring to is President Cyril Ramaphosa. So for that reason, Jacob Zuma is like, no, I don't trust him anymore. I don't see the reason why I should see him there as a judge. Instead, that's the reason why in 2 or 3 weeks to come, they have to go and submit that application whereby the Chief Justice Zondo, he need to be kicked out from that office, and his whole office, they want, according to Zuma, of course, they want it that it has to be recomposed of different parties, whereby they'll have to see some lawyers, some attorneys, some judge, people who are coming from different parts of the country or service. They'll have to come and compose that because they don't trust Chief Justice Zondo. So the same way how Jacob Zuma have been accused of the Gupta's family, that is the same way him also is accusing the Chief Justice, because he feel like the Chief Justice is not being neutral, is being implicated in a lot of things which is supposed to put in the report, he did not put. Also, he's been involving a lot in politics, and he's supposed not to do that because that is not his right. Yes, I wish if I knew that article, I was gonna read it here. I know there's an article in the Constitution which says that as a judge, you don't need to give a point of view. You don't need to get involved in the politics. You don't need to do anything which has to do with politics. Instead, apparently, not even apparently, I think I come across that report because here I'm just trying to refer on the state of Jacob Zuma. So I don't want to assume things that I did not say. I'm just trying to repeat what he had said in that statement. So it says that the Chief Justice Zondo, he had to go and impose parliament on how South Africans should elect the president. And that it is another infraction that the chief has committed. Because as a chief, you don't need to go and try to influence whether it is political parties or whether it is politicians. You don't need to comment anything at all, according to that article in the law. So the Chief Justice decided to go and try to comment about politics, try to give his point of view, telling the parliamentary that they should vote a new law which allow the president to be elected directly. I don't know if there's any South African out there will accept that, because that one is not gonna work. So with all this, obviously, on this part, I totally agree with the former president Jacob Zuma. So he had to bring that, and he said all these things he will have to submit them in this upcoming 2 weeks, so that the Chief Justice, they will have to take him off. And guys, here, that is where now I would like us to analyze a little bit more in details. So what now is happening is that, as you read it in our title, President Ramaphosa and the Chief Justice Zondo, they are in trouble. They're in trouble because with what Jacob Zuma just said today in the media, and with what President Cyril Ramaphosa is up to with his money robbery in Palapala farm, with what he had done in the past when he was the deputy president, when he was at the ESCOM stories with Blaza, all those three things. There is a chapter which is supposed to be open, but so far it has not been open. Do you know why? As I said earlier in this video, that people who are supposed to do the job, people who are supposed to investigate the president, they are afraid to do the job properly. Those who try to do the job, they got suspended by the president. And for that, it needs another wind, or should I say another pressure from, I don't know whether it's from people or from politicians or from the opposition leaders, to come forward and try to make sure that the president and the chief justice, they can get to be investigated in a very good way, and try to find out the truth or the closure about what's supposed to be done. So guys, now that the president Zuma is preparing himself to sue the chief justice Zondo, and is rejecting the whole state capture report, he asked for it to be reviewed. Trust me, regardless of what we can accuse of Jacob Zuma, trust me, this idea give you, it is just a very brilliant idea. Yes, because if they have to review this report, you must know that some names which are not being mentioned inside here, they are going to be mentioned. Whether it is in the justice system, whether it is in the even the Zondo Justice Commissioner, everyone they'll be mentioning inside, because they'll have just need to find one name. Through that one name, they'll start now mentioning the names of each other. It will be kind of like a queue, whereby you had mentioned your name, and the rest now they'll be there just to keep on saying that, no, me actually my part was this, I got this order from the so and so. When they call that one is like, no, it's not me. Actually, I receive also the order from, so it will be a long queue. And obviously, you see that this report of the this Zondo, there is some missing page, which me and you need to know. Beside that, it is going to put the Chief Justice to lose his work. Yes, he's going to lose his job, because in Jacob Zuma's statement, he even remind us of what had happened to the Chief Justice Mukwege. Yes, he reminds us of that he was kicked out in a very strange way. The reasons that they had kicked him out is still not being that clear. And that reminds me of what I was saying earlier on, that I managed to read some twitters from the Chief Justice Mukwege. I could feel his regret about the justice system and the ANC government. Especially, he could not cease to mention the name of President Ramaphosa. And they keep on declaring that on his side, he was willing to do the really justice. And it is because he wanted the truth to be installed in the justice system, whereby all corrupt people will have to be brought before the court. That's the reason why they kick him out. And for those who don't know, perhaps you must know that the man we're talking about here, the Chief Justice Mukwege, is a pastor. A pastor, of course, but I have seen it several times, him preaching, reading the Bible. So for that reason, they had to chase him out. Now that they had to replace him, what had happened? Because in this Jacob Zuma report, one thing that make me laugh, like, guys, I think I'll have to upload another video where I'll try to talk a little bit about, I'll take the same videos of what the president was saying today, and former president Jacob Zuma, what was saying today. So I'll try to comment it along so that you guys will get to follow, because as I'm talking right now, I'm kind of like forgetting some stuff, you know. So I'm asking you, please, if I upload that videos, come back, watch it, so that we can get to comment and analyze together. But right now I don't have the videos in front of me. I'm not in the big studio though. So but one thing that really draw my attention was when the president Jacob Zuma, he put doubt in this justice. He doubted this justice. He says that this justice system is failing. He says that he is even wondering if we still have justice in this country or not. You know, those words, guys, as I said earlier, those are the bomb. And now you can understand why the president himself, he could not present himself in person. He have to send someone to come and read it out for him. Because if he had to say something like that as a former president, some people, they can take those words and use it against him. When you come, you say that, I even wonder if we still have a justice in this country. As a former president, you know what does that mean? That means that when you were there, when you're supposed to strengthen this justice, under your nose, this justice failed, and you were aware about it. So if there are people who had killed this justice, you are among these people. Guys, please do like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. I really do appreciate. I'm begging you to do that. So simple as that. If you can say today that this justice had failed, or the justice have died in this country, then you must also be ready to assume the part of your own responsibility, because you were also the president of this country. The party that brought you in power is the same party that your colleague or your fellow president, I'm referring to President Cyril Ramaphosa, is also from the ANC. So if him, you can say under his leadership, the justice is failing, or just because you feel like they did not follow the normal procedure to treat your problems, then you must assume that this is not just started today. I always tell people every time that all problems that we are facing today, whether it is financial problems, whether it is a problem with our economy, whether it is everything that we are complaining today, guys, these things did not start it in one night. It will be unfair for me to sit here and put all the blames on President Ramaphosa, regardless of what he has done wrong so far. But I'll tell you that this thing, it is a routine. It is a route that he had to follow. You know, it keeps, when a new president comes, instead of doing good, they make it worse. When they leave, the one who's coming, instead of them also doing good, they're making worse. As I always tell all my followers, that politicians, they're not to be trusted, because the problem with them, they are so kind when they are simple, when they don't have power, when they are not being elected. Once you vote for them, it's like you have given them that power suit, which will only change their life, and they will no longer gonna consider you. So now imagine you were there yesterday. You are the one who nominated Chief Justice Zondo. You work with him, but just because he betrayed you, because that's what I can say. What I'm saying is that I see a man who feel disappointed. Yes, former President Jacob Zuma, he feel disappointed and betrayed and being abandoned by people that he helped yesterday, by people who should I say, they stole together, they did crazy things together. Now, just because they all got caught by South Africans, because South Africans now, we are all open, our eyes are open, we can see who's being genuine and who's not doing the job. So now that they got caught, they need to sacrifice someone. And he said it. When you read the statement, you'll see. The former president, he said it. He said that no, he's being sacrificed by people who want to. And that's what is happening. It is all disappointing to see such things, guys. It's very disappointing to see all those kind of things. Sorry, guys, my computer fan is making too much noise. I try to put it down, but I don't know if you guys. I apologize about that. So it is very important that you get to understand that the president is just being. He feel disappointed by people whom he helped yesterday. Today now they're fighting against him because Chief Zondo, he was nominated by the president himself, isn't it? And then, because they had to sacrifice someone, today they are doing everything by all means to make sure that President Zuma he got paid for all the wrongdoing that they did. Okay, sorry guys, I was trying to switch off this thing and see if we can be able to talk properly. So guys, now you see, because of what the President Zuma had said, it will put some people in trouble, starting with the president himself, followed by the the judge Zondo, especially with this report. And I said to you again that since he had asked for this report to be reviewed, I'm afraid to tell you that if they try to review it, they might end up canceling everything. The whole work that was been done in 4 years, they might end up canceling everything. Or perhaps they might keep some few points which they like everyone they agree about. Because what is happening here in this state capture is for the fact that there's some reports which we all agree about. Like, okay, no, this one, yes, should be there. But there's some reports which we don't agree about. And also some reports which are supposed to be inside, but it's not inside. All just because some two friends, they sit somewhere, they're trying to protect each other and close the blind eye. I thank God for the fact that now the battle is in the open area. No way you gonna go and try to hide yourself. Because imagine President Jacob Zuma, he never really held any conference or any press meeting. He never briefed the media before. So obviously you can tell that this guy is like, enough is enough. I'm not going to take this anymore. Then he decides to come forward in the media and try to speak and give his point of view. And thanks to that effort, now we can be able to know that, guys, as you are sitting there, so there's no need for you to come again and lie, because if this thing's going, if these things continue like this, the next thing, you guys will find out that no, there's some audios, perhaps videos of those people sitting somewhere, having a cup of coffee, perhaps maybe some ladies sitting on the legs, giving them some massage on the neck. Politicians, anything it is possible, especially when they're fighting. Anything it is possible. So thanks God, at least now we can be able to have an idea of what had happened back then and what is going on. Because Jacob Zuma says that he don't want to see himself again in front of Chief Justice Zondo because he's more corrupt. He's trying to protect his friend. Let's wait and see, guys. That is what we had prepared for you today, because we want also to come and give our point of view and try to give you our best analytics about what happened today. So thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video until now. Always feel free to drop your comment. Tell us your opinion. Don't let politicians to come and fool you. You can't just let politicians to come and tell you what to do. You can't let politicians to always come and use you, especially when they need you. And when they are now in the conflicts, when they are now in the serious problems, you are the person who will have to pay now the consequences of that fight. So that's the reason why we have this channel, so that we can get to talk about this kind of matters. We can try to discuss about it and try to analyze it together. So please always feel free to tell us what is in your mind, and of course be able to tell us also what you think about what is going on, and or can also suggest what you think will happen tomorrow, because it is very important that we are all in the same page. So if you have not liked this video, do like this video. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe, because in this channel we are here to not talk about these crazy things that other people does out there. Instead, we are here to have a serious conversation that um, is facing the country. And please do like the videos. I really do appreciate. My time is up. I wish I would have remained here forever, but it's too late now. I need to get busy with other stuff. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.